Hello, my name is Kelly Balderston, and I want to thank you for coming today. According to Bloomsburg Business Week, nearly 2 million troops have been deployed to Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, which has put soldiers at an increased risk to blast exposure and injury and placed in harmful and difficult situations. Since May of 2008, I have had to research post-traumatic stress disorder and have had to learn to live with it in my own life. My husband served 2 tours overseas while in the military, once in Afghanistan and once in Iraq. After returning home, he was diagnosed with PTSD. Based on my research and experience, I now present information of how PTSD affects soldiers and their families. PTSD is affecting many soldiers and their families because of the paralyzing symptoms that the soldier experiences and the challenging adjustments of the families living with them. During the next few moments, I will explain how PTSD affects the lives of so many by defining PTSD, informing you of the symptoms, and explaining some of the treatments available. The National Center for PTSD defines post-traumatic stress disorder as an anxiety disorder that follows a traumatic event that someone may have felt threatened of injury or maybe even feared death. They go on to identify several traumatic events that could cause someone to develop PTSD, which are terrorist attacks, natural disasters, serious accidents, or combat exposure. They explain that these events cause someone to fear for their lives. They see horrible things and they feel helplessness. The strong emotions caused by the event creates changes in the brains, which results in the PTSD. There are 4 symptoms classified with this disorder according to the National Center for PTSD. These symptoms change a person's life as well as the people around them. They can be disruptive to a person's daily life, making it tough for them to continue with daily routines and activities. The first symptom identified is reliving the experience. This is when the bad memories of the traumatic event come back, making the person feeling the same fear and horror as when the event first happened. The person may experience nightmares and/or flashbacks. These could be triggered by a sight or a sound that is a reminder of the event. The second symptom is avoidance. A person will avoid a situation or people that may trigger the memory of the event, such as a movie or someone they feel that might want to talk about the event. The third symptom is feeling numb. A person experiencing this disorder may find it hard to express their feelings. They may socially isolate themselves and may not find things or activities interesting as they may have before. The fourth and final symptom identified is called keyed up or hyperarousal. PTSD causes a person to be on constant alert and looking out for danger. They can suddenly become angry and irritated, have trouble sleeping, have trouble concentrating, and can be very easily startled. There are other common problems according to the National Center for PTSD. These problems include drinking and drugs, relationship complications including divorce or violence, depression, and physical symptoms such as tics, headaches, nausea, and getting the chills. PTSD is devastating to a person experiencing it, but also for those who love them and live with them. But it's not an end. There are treatments to reduce symptoms and help for soldiers and their families to learn to cope with life after the war. As reported by Livestrong, treatments such as cognitive therapy and eye movement desensitization and reprocessing help change a person's way of thinking. It helps them to provide coping skills such as relating to others, works in reducing a person's feeling of remorse and anger, and helps them to develop skills to change their behaviors. Other treatments or help suggested by Livestrong are individual, group, and family counseling. Medications are also used to help reduce the anxiety and depression correlated with PTSD. Even though there are medications and therapies to help or reduce the symptoms of PTSD, it is my experience that learning as much as possible about the disorder will help in making it easier to cope and live with it. As you can imagine, with the war that has been going on for the last 10 years, that many lives have been affected by post-traumatic stress disorder. Although there have been many, there is hope and there is help. The symptoms of PTSD can be paralyzing to the one experiencing them and challenging for the families having to adjust their lives to live with them. In closing, I would like to say that even with the challenges and the strenuous battle of living with someone suffering from PTSD, there is promise in learning to cope and recover and lead a somewhat normal life, just not the life you had before. I am constantly asked, how do you do it? Well, honestly, it's something that you just have to do. But if it wasn't for the support network that I have with family and friends, I wouldn't be as courageous. And for the strong love and relationship that my husband and I have. But most of all, I have to say I learned to trust God, and I pray every day for His strength and His guidance. It is my hope today that the information that I provided will help someone else living with PTSD. Thank you.